Hey guys, welcome back to the Crypto Picture channel where I help you see crypto through a clear lens. Today we're going to go over a topic that a lot of people in the group have been asking me about, and that is my exit strategy and how to maximize my gains based on taking profits. Now, I want to state before I get into this video that I am not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video is to be construed as financial advice. I'm simply providing what I'm doing and what my thesis is, and when I will be taking profits. You will have to make that decision yourself based on the education that's provided to you from multiple sources and doing your own research. So with that being said, my take profit targets, and I know obviously this looks very parabolic, is based on previous market history. Okay, so when we look at previous market history, and I'm going to start on the 1 week time frame. Okay, so what we saw here back in 2015 going into the 2017-2018 top of Bitcoin at $20,000, give or take a few $100, we saw that, you know, it was equally as parabolic, right? So this isn't abnormal for Bitcoin, and I know it's a little hard to compute. Obviously, you know, there's virtually no other assets that we see that do things like this. But for me and my perspective, what I'm looking at and how I will decide how I'm going to take my profits is based on 3 aspects and 3 time frames. Okay, so what I'm looking at is the weekly, the 2 week, and the monthly. Okay, you guys all know I'm in this for the macro cycles. I trade with 20% of my account. I hold 80% of my account. From a tax perspective, you know, unless you're trading or buying Bitcoin or investing in Bitcoin and Ethereum through your TFSA, from a tax perspective, it makes sense to hold for the macro cycle. Now, if we look at Market Cipher here, and, you know, I'm just actually going to zoom out to the 2 week quickly. If we look from an entry perspective, market cycle tells us to go long here and go long here. There are 2 large green dots. These other little green dots on the blue waves are irrelevant from a 2 week perspective. So based on this, this is our go long signal saying, hey, you know what? We've probably seen the end of the bear market and we're ready to turn things around. Is this the absolute bottom? No, it is within 10 to 20% from the bottom. You are not going to catch the tops and you're not going to catch the bottoms, right? So we just want to catch, or not catch rather, we want to kind of get into the market at the most desirable or most calculated area from a risk to reward perspective. So based on this, you would have seen a 20% drawdown, okay? From market purchase to the ultimate second bottom. So it created a second bottom here. But if you look at this and you were really in it for the long haul, you were getting in, and this is the previous market cycle. So history doesn't always repeat, but it does rhyme. And we're looking at the previous market cycle to project what we potentially are looking at in this market cycle. Okay, so based on that, we are, based on Market Cipher, we are buying Bitcoin at $249. Okay, and sorry, I got an alert there for a trade that I'm interested in. So based on that, we got into Market Cipher here at the, you know, $250 level. and the market top was about an 8,118% gain. Am I saying we're going to see those types of returns? No. Returns over time based on market capitalization are going to be diminishing, okay? And what I mean by diminishing is that the volatility of Bitcoin will drastically reduce over time due to the amount of money that is invested into Bitcoin, okay? So where we would have seen an 8,118% gain out of Bitcoin from market low to market high back in 2018, we may only see 3,000 or 4,000. And that's because it takes more money to move the market when there is a larger market capitalization, meaning there's more money in this particular market. So that is kind of what I look at from the bear market entry perspective, and that's what we're going to look out for, because I know a lot of people are saying, you know, Bitcoin to 150, 200,000 and stuff like these numbers they're throwing out. From what I believe is going to happen is Bitcoin likes to surprise people. And what I mean by surprise people is, you know, in the past, it's over compensated for people's expectations, right? So it's gone up and exceeded people's expectation. Could we see that this time as well? Sure. And I want to keep an open mind to that. And I would like to believe that, because if Bitcoin continues to go up, I'm a happy guy. I'll make more money, as will everybody else that's long-term invested in this space. So it is good for everybody. And I'd be very content with that. Now, the only thing is that so many people believe that Bitcoin's going to 150, 200K. And I believe that Bitcoin likes to surprise people, that, you know, maybe our macro top or our Bitcoin top is at 80,000, 90,000, 95,000. Maybe we don't get to that 100, 150, 200K level. But on the other toss of the coin, we could see Bitcoin far exceed those levels. That would be amazing, and I'm not saying it's happening. All I'm going to do is base it on what I see on the chart. Now, I want to show you guys a little secret weapon, and I know obviously not everybody can afford a $2,000, $4,000 indicator, right? But I didn't have market Cipher when I bought Bitcoin at $4,000, okay? And I'm going to show you my secret tool, and this will be my little tidbit or tip for you guys today, okay? The 200-week moving average, okay? You can pull this up on TradingView, okay? You can use this with the free account, pro account, premium account, whatever you choose. Now, when we look at this, we see, and again, we're just going off of previous market history. So all I had was these two reference points, right? So I was just simply going off of this and projecting where the line would have been based on the trajectory of the decline in the moving average. So this is a 200-week moving average. So what it is, it's taking the 200-week previous to this weekly candle, and it's projecting the increase onto a line, so you're able to see whether an asset is in an incline or a decline. And as we can see, Bitcoin's been in an incline for the entirety of its history. It also likes to retest this level in a bear market. So based on these two reference points, I entered the market on a retest of this level and a bounce up. So I didn't buy the 200-week moving average, but I bought a little bit above when I felt there was a confirmation that it was going to respect the 200-week moving average. Okay, so that is how and why I bought Bitcoin. Now, if I had Market Cipher, I might have bought closer to the bottom than I did, but that's okay, right? 4,000, 4,500. That is a very good level, and I'm sure a lot of people would have loved to buy Bitcoin at 4,000, 4,500. Okay, we got a retest here. The market gave you a second opportunity. Guess what? It gave you one opportunity, a second opportunity, and then it never gave you an opportunity again. One opportunity, second opportunity, you never got an opportunity again. So, yeah, that's why I got it. Market Cipher, no Market Cipher. I know a lot of people say, okay, because you have Market Cipher, it makes things easier. Well, I didn't always have Market Cipher. Market Cipher is a new addition within the last, I would say, 6 to 7 months. So, and this was in 2018. Okay. Now, using Market Cipher though, because when you have a basic understanding of technical analysis, it allows you to be much more confident in your thesis. Okay, so with Market Cipher on the 2-week, right, we saw a lot of red dots. So Market Cipher is not simply buy green dots, sell red dots, because you would have been buying and selling all the time. You would have been selling the bottoms, you would have been buying the tops. You need to use Market Cipher in a clear direction. So if we're in an uptrend, you want to add to longs on green dots, right? But you don't necessarily want to sell on red dots, especially on these higher time frames. Okay? Can you take profits along the way? Absolutely. Take profits with whatever you feel comfortable. Now, on the 2-week time frame, we had this, you know, I know it's a little hard to see, but we had this RSI kind of respecting this level, right? 1 touch point, 2 touch point, 3 touch points, 4 touch points, okay? And then we broke this level, all right? When we broke this level, we were roughly at $14,258, okay? So based on that thesis, on the 2-week time frame, I would have likely taken profits at about 14,258, and I would have taken a large amount or almost closed the entirety of everything that I have at this level. Now, I don't plan to sell everything that I hold because I'm pretty comfortable in my positions right now, but I will definitely be taking 80% off of the table, okay? So when we look at this and we get this, you know, the red dot hadn't even come in yet, and then we got the red dot, and then we got the break of the RSI, and then we saw this vertical decline with this red line, which is the RSI. We started seeing a rounding top on the money flow, which is this green indicator here. So when it's green, it's cash money positive or cash flow positive, and when it's in the red, it's negative. Okay, so we saw this kind of start to round off. We saw the RSI start going vertical. This would have been a good sign to get out of the market. Okay, now this is much clearer when we look at the weekly. When we look at the weekly, we saw this decline come in much earlier. Now if we look at the touch points right here, right, we got 1 touch point, 2 touch point, 3 touch points, 4 touch points on this line. I know it's a little hard to see because Market Cipher wants to place itself in front of that line. But just bear with me. So this is the line right here, okay? So if we broke this level, which we hadn't done for roughly, you know, we held above this level basically from the start of the bull market almost. But let's say we held above this level for, you know, 350 days, okay? So we broke below this, and that would have been a very significant sign for me to take some profits. Okay, on the 2 week it was more significant, but on the 1 week it was very significant. So on the 1 week we would have taken like a fair share, probably about 30% off of the table at roughly 15,000. Okay, based on the previous bull market and what I'm expecting here for Bitcoin going into the next bull market. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking at for a take profit level, and this is why I'm able to confidently hold my positions, because I am going to trust my indicator. And this went back to any indicators that I was using in the past as well. I've always trusted my indicators because they are data driven, right? There's no emotion in the indicator. It's simply calculating the data in the past and projecting it to our current price. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at from a take profit perspective. Okay, now also another few questions that I was getting in regards to what my projection is for how far we are in this bull market, and I would say there's no definitive answer, and there could be a lot of things that happen. Like if we go into a super cycle, it could go on for many more months. But based on what I have on the chart, if we look here, market Cipher is getting into this, you know, just above this white dotted line here, right? The monthly RSI is, you know, kind of leveling off here, but you know, it's still above the bullish control zone and it's not headed down vertically. So I think we're roughly about here. Okay, so that is within, like, the last bull market is, this candle is 1500 to roughly 2500. So I do believe we're in this area. We're just exiting, or you know, getting above this white dotted line on market Cipher. So we could possibly be here. Now this is just an estimation, it's a projection. Nothing is set in stone, nothing is definite. But if we are in this area, then that would tell me that we may have, you know, 4 to 5, maybe 6 months, right? I would say 4 to 6 months left in this bull market. Conservatively speaking, you know, worst case scenario, 3 months, okay? But based on the chart, based on market Cipher, and based on previous history, we can say, okay, 4 to 6 months is a reasonable projection to have, okay? So that is what I'm looking at from a timing perspective. So I do believe we are, you know, 50 to 60% through this current bull market. So we still have a 40% time to, you know, hold our positions. And for new people coming into the market, I know it's a little bit riskier getting in at these levels, but at the same time, in my opinion, it is more risky not to hold Bitcoin at all than to have a small position and allocate a small position towards Bitcoin or Ethereum, okay? So that's what I'm looking at from the chart perspective, and I hope that helps, okay, and give you some direction as to your time horizon, okay? That doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go up 1,000% in 6 months. I mean, anything is possible. This is just from a time frame. I can't tell you how well Bitcoin is going to perform. Do I believe Bitcoin is going to go up? Yes. And based on what I told you at the beginning of the video, I think it's going to surprise people, okay? So I don't think that 95% of people are right when they're calling for $150,000 Bitcoin. I think it will either, it's going to surprise people, but it's either going to exceed people's expectations or not meet people's expectations, okay? But again, I'll definitely keep you guys posted and up to date, and we'll just have to see what happens with that. Now, from a take profit perspective, I did mention a little bit earlier, even at the macro top, I will keep 20% of my position, and I will sell out of 80% of everything that I have, okay? The only assets that I'll hold in that 20% that I do not sell is Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because simply speaking, they're the only two assets that I can say, hey, are they going to be here for the next 5 to 10 years? And I can confidently say yes, okay? Now, when I consolidate my assets, I'm planning to put them into US dollars, depending on the environment of the traditional markets, the crypto markets, the currency markets, the forex markets. If commodities are doing well, I might just transition a lot of my investment capital into gold and silver, right? We will have to revisit that at a closer date once we have a clearer direction after crypto has come to its macro top. The nice thing is that BlockFi offers interest on dollars and gold. So you're able to buy Pax Gold, which is essentially a crypto token that backs your token that you have for 1 ounce of gold. So if you own 1 Pax Gold token, you're entitled to 1 ounce of gold. And they are a fully regulated company. They are also working with PayPal. They're the ones that help set up their crypto buys and sells and their market structure for crypto. So they're a legitimate company, and I feel comfortable holding Pax Gold, just as comfortable as holding like a paper-backed gold through the traditional stock market. Okay? Now, the nice thing is about holding on BlockFi, and Celsius is another option. If everything is kind of going sideways, there will be a flight to safety, and the US dollar will likely hold up in value. I do like to look at things from an optimistic perspective. I do not hope or wish that the US dollar, goes to zero or goes into hyperinflation. So I'm building my thesis around the fact that the US dollar still maintains its buying power. If it doesn't, we'll have to revisit it closer to the end of the bull market. So based on that, if I get US dollars and I put them into Celsius or BlockFi, I can earn interest that outperforms inflation. The interest rate on USDC or GUSD in BlockFi or Celsius is roughly between 8 to 12%. And I think this is a very, very, very wonderful and beautiful interest rate, and you're not going to get it anywhere else, right? So yeah, I think that is probably your best options from a reinvestment perspective or a redistribution perspective. Now, when the bear market ends, which it will, just like I'm very confident that there will be a bear market eventually, whether it's in 3 months or a year is irrelevant. It will happen at some point. And I'm equally as confident that that bear market will come to an end. And I will be redistributing my assets back into crypto when that does happen. Okay? So based on that, and I'm going to post some notes in the Telegram group for my notes that I created for this video that will just kind of outline like kind of my strategy for that. But if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, use the Telegram link below to join the group, and Market Cipher affiliate link is down in the description. Thank you very much, and until next time,